Pelch. Good to have you, man.
What's up, Brad? How we doing, man?
Everything's good. I'm in Estonia. Where are you?
I am in Victoria, British Columbia here it's actually Canada Day here today.
What does that mean?
So it's a holiday. Canada Day is a celebration of, I guess it was 1867, British, like it's called the North American Act, and then it was changed to the Constitution Act, I believe it's called. And it's when Canada really joined. Like it was like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia were provinces, and then Canada was its own province, and then they came together.
And so, do you think there'll be a victory or a Canada Day 100 years from now to celebrate becoming the 51st state?
Fucking right away with that shit, huh?
Yeah, you're Canadian, eh? I don't
I
get to
don't know
talk
if
to
it'd be
you guys
called.
very
I don't
often.
know if it would be called Canada Day, bro. What? I don't know. I'd be called what? Fucking. We'd be celebrating in 3 days, maybe on the 4th.
Yeah, that's true. Would you be
So
in favor of it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you know what? It's a big one up here. People, Canada's not for sale. Canada's not for sale. It's like, yeah, okay, okay. I lived in Texas. Obviously, that's how we know each other. I really like the U.S. It's nothing to do with Trump. I'm just like, why not, dude? Chase is always peppering me. Just always peppering me like, you guys are dumb. We are the best. You need to come over here now.
I could see him saying that.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. So would I be in favor? Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm good. I'm all for it.
Hey, everything's got a price in life, it seems, right?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. I mean, Trump's not wrong about a lot of things. Like, we I don't think if shit went down, we'd be okay with our military. We need a little help. We'd have to call our big brother.
That's how they feel here, by the way, in Estonia. They're worried that Putin is going to take over the Baltics after Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, this guy's had it in his brain for so long to take it all back over, since it was, the Soviet Union, right? I mean, that's how Putin grew up, and that's the way he sees it, and that's the way he wants it. He wants it all red, He's playing
Yeah, and
a big old game of Risk right now.
we all tend to long for our childhood, our upbringing. We think things tend to be better. So he's what, in his 70s? It'd probably be better if people his age died off, right? Because they don't remember what the Soviet Union was like. But who
Uh
wouldn't
huh.
want to be in a leadership position of a country as powerful as Russia under communism? I shouldn't say who wouldn't want to be, but I saw a really
Well,
funny meme
yeah.
yesterday.
I mean, anybody, yeah. I mean, Stalin did his thing, and Putin, I guess, really likes that. So I don't know.
I guess the meme I saw, it wasn't a meme, it was a picture, and it was an article attached to the picture, and it was someone high up in the German government who is openly gay, and he was criticizing the Belarus president, saying that he was a dictator, and he was
Hmm.
the last dictator left from the Soviet bloc. And that dictator, quote unquote, said, better to be a dictator than gay. So, yeah.
That sounds like a fire, like something a kid would say.
I know. I think maybe Trump started that. Like, hey, I'm going to
That's
level with you, what I really think.
that's so good. Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
sent it
know.
to one of my buddies, and he said, well, being a dictator is better than a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, for the dictator, you could see that.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So you mentioned Chase, and I should probably tell our listeners how we know each other and why Chase came up. You actually played with Chase in junior college ball, right?
Yeah, we
And you sent
were
me.
we were room dogs in junior college. Yeah, we got down there, and Chase was like, "God, I gotta live with a Canadian. What's going on here?"
And married a New Yorker. That was a surprise to all of us.
Yeah,
His
married
family
in.
is very pro Texas,
You think?
right?
Yeah, that's right. I dug this up, man.
Oh, dude, that is so awesome.
Look at
I've
your
never seen
hair.
that picture before.
Dude, I knew I had this kicking around somewhere, and
Uh-huh.
I had a good idea where my albums were, so I went and dug it up this morning.
That's so cool. So you've recorded for us the last time we probably met. I imagine we met maybe two or three times our freshman year of college.
Yeah, yeah,
And
coming down to Houston. Yeah, Chase used to. I mean, we used to go down as much as we could and sit by the pool and Bruce wanted to take care of us. I mean, it was the funny. I still laugh about it. Chase is like, you get one get out of jail free card with Bruce. If you get cornered by Bruce, I'll come grab you once. If it happens again, you're on your own, dude.
Yeah, we all used to warn people that we were taken to the Lambin house for the first time, like, hey, you're gonna get cornered by Bruce. You gotta let somebody know to save you.
Yeah.
Because you want to be
Uh-huh.
polite to the host and listen to his 45-minute story. But yeah,
Listen
oh,
to
hey, Curtis, I
listen
need
to
you over
him
here,
about
man. Come
talk
see
about
this.
whatever movie he was in. I can't remember what movie that was, but that used to always come up.
That's awesome. So tell me about Grayson. Did you guys live in a dorm, you and Chase?
Yeah, so we lived in an old army barracks. It was like, I don't know, a mile down the road from the actual campus, maybe half a mile down the road. And I mean, Grayson wasn't much of a college. It was a baseball program that had been resurrected. It was back, I think, second year running. And I think Coach Tadlock went in pretty heavy on the recruiting and just, I don't know if we were a bunch of misfits he got together or a bunch of actual prospects. I don't know what we were because we were pretty good, but we were pretty crazy too. And so, yeah, we all got 30 plus, 40 dudes. We all lived on the second floor of this army barracks, a half a mile from the college. And I'm talking no AC, right? Communal bathrooms, one payphone, two real bad vending machines. But honestly, it was probably one of the best years of my life. I got down there when I was 17 when I got down there. So it's and it's crazy being I'd traveled. I'd been to the U.S. a lot for baseball. Never really been in like real Texas. Like I'd go to Dallas and it's like, oh, cool, a city. It's like, hey, there's a guy in a cowboy hat. Ha ha ha. But getting down there and Chase coming into our room and he's got these big old gun cases and I'm like, whoa, man, like what's going? You got guns, dude? He's like, yeah. What do you mean? Do I have guns? Of course I have guns.
That's amazing.
and
You have a
then
car.
and again, for me, it's like going into class and then seeing signs of like no concealed guns allowed. I'm like, okay, but if I just have it in my hand, it's cool. Like I don't really understand what's going on here.
That's great.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
how
it
did you
was
get to Grayson from Canada? How does that work?
all right. So this is actually a good story. So I was on the Canadian national team again. Like I said, I think Tadlock went in pretty hard on the recruiting side of getting out of Texas as well because he saw me in Peoria, Arizona. I was at a tournament there on the national team, and I went off a couple games, and Tadlock saw me. But I
Sorry,
guess
you went off. You were what position did you play?
I was a shortstop.
Okay, and you went
We
off
were all
hitting.
shortstops. We were all shortstops. We got down there, and Tadlock was like, "Hey, everybody, go up to your position." There was like 12 dudes at shortstop, and there was nobody else in the infield. So we were like, "What's going on here?" Anyway, smart guy, right? Just recruited the best athletes he could. Anyway, I guess our numbers got mixed up at that tournament on the national team because I didn't hear from Tadlock for a while, and I didn't learn this till a lot later that Tadlock ended up calling another dude on the national team, thinking it was me, another shortstop, but he was smaller. He's about 5'8". I'm 6'2", so a bit of a difference. I'm a left-handed hitter. He's a right-handed hitter. Tadlock flies this dude down to Texas, thinking it's me. Like he got the names mixed up too, so it wasn't like, "Hey Curtis, blah 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 blah." This guy's name was Trevor, and Trevor gets down there, goes to train practice with the team. And Tadlock's like, "God, man, I thought you were a lot bigger. It's weird." And then Trevor goes up to bat, gets up there right-handed. He's like, "Man, what is going on? I thought you were a left-handed hitter." And sure enough, they figured it out that Tadlock flew the wrong dude down.
Huh.
So with that being said, Tadlock called me after that and just offered me a spot. And I had some other opportunities. Like I had signed a letter of intent at University of Washington, Lewis and Clark. But I love the idea of going down and to a new program and getting the opportunity to start, obviously. And Tadlock sold the sizzle. It was good.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So you had a bunch of shortstops and center fielders, right?
that's it, man. Yeah, a bunch of shortstops and center fielders, and yeah,
I was nearly added to the center fielder list because my freshman year in JUCO,
mhm.
Chase and I would talk all the time, and I had put up the best 60 time I ever ran, and then Chase told me one day that our coach Tadlock wants to talk to you. So I talked to him, and I very seriously considered transferring, but that was back when you felt some disloyalty for making a
Yeah.
switch, whereas now kids are changing schools like they change their underwear, right?
Oh, it's
Weekly.
bananas. It's
So,
bananas.
what do you
Yeah,
think of
it's great.
that?
The transfer portal and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's too crazy. I think there's something's going to change here with that soon. I think there had to be a change with the eligibility thing, with like waiting a whole year to transfer because there was guys who were not getting an opportunity to play, obviously wanted to transfer out, which is fair, but couldn't just transfer out and just go play right away. They have to almost sit out a whole year. So I do like the idea of the opportunity to go play somewhere else. But with that, anybody can just go in. So, I know college coaches who would crank up the transfer portal every morning and there's like 4,000 or 5,000 dudes in there. They had their whole staff logging into the portal every day in the off season, 8 hours just going through because guys are coming in, guys are leaving, guys are coming in, guys are leaving. And it's one of those things that's if you want to compete as a mid-major, you gotta be on that thing and looking for guys.
Do you think NIL is having an impact on that too?
Yeah, I mean, seeing Murray State go to the College World Series this year is really cool. I love seeing the outlier kind of get in because it still gives programs an opportunity. It's just not just Omaha is just SEC teams basically. But yeah, NIL money. I mean, it's gonna be the Vandy's, the Tennessees, the UC. It's going to be the big programs, right? It's always going to be the big programs who are at Omaha, the LSU's, who have the football dough, who can afford to take care of their players, put on a show. And again, those smaller programs aren't going to have that opportunity. But I do love the smaller programs because when you see those Murray States come in there, and obviously they got bounced pretty quick, but it still gives everybody that, okay, we can still do this. We can still do this. This is reachable for us as a UC Santa Barbara or UT El Paso or something like that, right?
Well, don't you think Grayson was kind of the Murray State of JUCO when you guys won 2 national championships, right?
I don't know because I mean, shoot, we're talking 1998. I don't know the stats. I don't know a lot about how these programs were put together in a sense of like there wasn't a ton of money. Like we all got. I mean, I got full scholarship at Grayson, and we were thrown together, and we just bonded. Tadlock just did a good job of recruiting and giving us the opportunity to like. One thing I learned about Tadlock was we were player led, not coach fed. He wasn't this dictator who came in. Hey, we're gonna change your swing. Everybody swing like this. You got to do it this way. Man, a few words. Take care of your business. Go have some fun. I don't really give a shit what you do. Just take care of your business. That we did. We had fun. And, there was the McLennans, the San Jacks, the Seminole States, all those other school, the Dixies. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how big they were in a sense. We were just good. I don't know. We were kind of hard nosed. We had like 4 bats and like 5 helmets. One of them was cracked.
Give me an idea of how good y'all were. Give me some of the names.
Well, John Lackey, right? I mean, I don't know if you remember Albert Montez.
Of course I do.
I mean, Montez was a stud. Who else do we have? Kevin Thompson. KT played for the Yankees, Oakland. Brandon Fahey, who Fahey was second year. Obviously Chase. I mean, Chase was a little skinny guy. I hope he listens to this because
I think
that
he
dude
will.
was trying to take down.
He was skinnier than Fahey? Because I saw Fahey in the big leagues. He looked like he was wearing his dad's
nobody was skinnier than Fahey. No.
Yeah.
Good thing we didn't have a lot of wind.
Well,
no,
you
man,
say
I
that.
mean,
Let me
okay.
tell a quick story about Fahey. So I played with him in the summer league, and I was playing center field. He was playing short. And whenever there was a ball hit, even if it was in the gap between me and the left fielder, I would let Fahey get it because he was unbelievable with balls in the air. And I was told that the reason he was so good is because his dad coached for the Giants when they were playing in Candlestick Park, which has ferocious wind. And his dad would hit him pop-ups in that wind, and he would have to catch them. And so I was really excited to see him get to the big leagues. But sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
I mean, no, yeah, I mean, he was no joke, man. I mean, yeah, what other names? I mean, there's names I know, and I know what they did, and I know how they trained, and I know how they competed, but they're, obviously not household names. But it was it was one of those teams where everybody came together, and we all made each other better. We all picked each other up. Egos, there was really no egos. If there was an ego, it was cut in the fall, and it was more one of those things too where you were cut. Tadlock wasn't the one who cut you. The team cut you because
Because
we didn't want you part of our tribe.
you're a player led.
We're player led. So, and when I say we cut you, it means, you didn't come out and party with
Yeah.
us. 'Cause
I
we
did.
were,
Maybe that's why you guys tried to recruit me.
absolutely. We
That's
wanted good dudes. We wanted cool dudes. And shoot, there was times where we were putting partying ahead of baseball in a sense of it. No, not for real. But I can't remember where we were. Paris Junior College. I don't know. We were ways away. Doubleheader, and there was this big night because we were so close to Oklahoma. There was a bar called the Hangar in Durant, Oklahoma, and it was like $1 pitcher night or something. It was bananas. Anyway, it was like a 15-20 minute drive. It was 15-20 minute cab ride. Let's call it that. And we were so excited to go out that night, but we were, obviously playing on the road a doubleheader. Dude, we 10 run both those games so fast and got out of there. It's like we had this extra motivation to play harder, to win faster, so we could get out of there and go celebrate. But that's who we were. I mean, it was it was cool. It was cool. I really remember. I remember Jeff Parker closing out that game. I was catching. I ended up being a catcher. I remember. I think he was 87 to 90. God, dude, it felt like he was up to 96 that day. Just pumping Ched, just blowing dudes away so we could beat it, so we could get out.
Man. So when you guys graduated after your sophomore year, I say graduated, they don't probably
Yeah.
call it that in JUCO, but could you guys pretty much go anywhere you wanted, or how was recruiting after winning 2 national championships?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was different. But yeah, I mean, dudes went, yeah, there was guys went D1, guys went all over the place. Again, it's one of those things where I don't really remember a lot. It was a long time ago. And I mean, we didn't have social media, so it was all phone calls and there was no texting. But yeah, I mean, guys went into UT. I mean, guys went all over the place. It was a good group of guys. It was sad to see, our group break up, but we still, to this day, I think there's 16 of us in a group chat and we just chirp the shit out of each other daily still.
That's cool.
I went down to a reunion. It was a long time. It was 16 years ago I went down. But I can tell you, if I went down tomorrow, it would be the same. We'd roll up, a couple hugs, and we'd be right back where we left off in the year 2000.
So Chase has talked about on this podcast actually about how guys who are down in AAA from the big leagues, guys like DeGrom,
Yeah.
and they buy out the bar, like they'll pay for everything, get you a big nice spread,
Yep.
for the chow. Did Lackey or anybody like that do something good for y'all after graduating, like an alumni gathering?
Yeah, Lackey came to an alumni game. Yeah, he paid for some dinners. What was a cool one? Lackey came back for our first ring ceremony after he'd been drafted by the Angels. Came back in his Navigator and took us all down to Dallas and took us out. I mean, we were back in our sophomore year. Lackey had already been drafted, so he took us all down to Dallas and we went out for the night. And that was big. It was massive. A dude rolling down in a brand new whip, and I think he signed for close to $1 million back then, which was massive, obviously. And yeah, he came down, and Lackey's good dude. For years, I went down and stayed with him in Newport when he was with the Angels for a little bit, and then I'd go down to Seattle anytime the Angels were in Seattle. We'd hang out. So, and he was cool. He's just like, hey, this is Vladdy Guerrero. This is so and so. This is Tim Salmon. Hey Tim. Hey, how you doing? Just no big deal. No big deal. It's not, you're kind of always one of the boys there.
That's cool. Who's the
Yeah.
most famous person you've ever met?
Okay, can I tell you a sweet story? I didn't really meet them, but I kind of did. I was like, hey, kind of thing. I guess you could say met, but they wouldn't remember me. So actually, this is one of the trips where I saw Lackey. So I'm in West Hollywood. I got to be about 22, 23 years old. The girl I was dating at the time, we drove down to California from here. So we did some stops. We stopped in Oregon, stopped in San Fran, and then she had a friend in Hollywood. So we went down and stayed with her friend in Hollywood. We're like, okay, this is sweet. I'm like, this is way out of my comfort zone being in Hollywood. So we're going out having drinks, and we end up meeting up with a bunch of her friends. She works for a big production, or one of the big studios there. Anyway, we end up at this bougie old school hotel in this penthouse suite. with the nephew of the CEO of Disneyland, and he's got a table, like just a table, like just full of weed.
This is
And
Michael Eisner's grand.
it was his nephew. I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, hey, and they're like, oh man, you're from BC, you know this stuff. Roll some up, roll some weed up. I kind of knew how to roll joints, but I was like, okay, cool. I'm fucking struggling through rolling up a doobie. And anyway, we end up smoking this weed, and I'm on Mars, bro. Like, I was just trying to hang. I was trying to be cool at the time. Like, yeah, man, I'm from BC. I can smoke, but whatever. Anyway, because we have good weed up here. And we ended up going to Sky Bar in West Hollywood, and it was the night of the Teen Choice Awards, bro.
Mm.
Okay, because we're with this nephew, we fucking skate right in, past the line, VIP, walk right past fucking Ellen DeGeneres. And I'm on Mars. Like I'm so ripped. Get in. I look over. I see Paris Hilton, four people down. I see Mario Lopez, and then here's the best one. Was my girlfriend and I at the time. We're driving down, and we do this. I don't know if you remember. I can't remember what show. It was a list. It's like if you meet 5 celebrities, you can sleep with them, kind of thing, right? So I was being an asshole, and I picked the Olsen twins as one. I'm like, give me the Olsen twins as one. Give me the Olsen twins as one. She's like, fine, fuck. When are you going to run into the Olsen twins? Well, when am I going to run into the Olsen twins? And the fucking Teen Choice Award night at Sky Bar is when I'm going to run into them. So I'm fucking skating through the dance floor, and all of a sudden I see these 2 little mongoloid twin Olsen twins, and I'm dancing, and they're both fucking dancing right here. And I'm
What?
like, hey, what's going on? They're like, hey, how you doing? Da, da, da. Anyway, that's about where that went. I had to fucking leave because
Tell me somebody had a disposable camera.
no, I wish, and I'm glad we didn't have cameras and phones back then too. But yeah, I'll never forget that night. That was
When you were
wild. So
dancing with future billionaires.
totally, dude, totally. And
Wow.
yeah, it was just crazy, man. It was overwhelming for me. I was blitzed out of my tree, and everywhere I looked, it was a celebrity, and I was like, "This, I gotta go. I gotta go. We gotta go. I don't know how to do this."
So
So yeah,
I find some of the best coaches and mentors, which is I know what you do, have been through some really hard times. What would you
yeah.
say is the toughest battle you've had to overcome in your life?
Alcohol.
Alcohol? That
hmm
got you?
Alcohol for sure that got me and led me to drugs and being in the wrong people and being around the wrong people. But yeah, it all stemmed from alcohol. Absolutely.
No
That
shit.
was
Did that
that was the
start at
toughest one.
Grayson or when did you start?
Nah, it started. I was always a nightmare drinker. Seth Chase, he laughs about he still laughs about it. Started sophomore year high school, maybe. Yeah, sophomore year high school was my first few experiences, and it wasn't like I'd have a few beers at a party and it'd be fun. It'd be like I'd end up passed out bleeding somewhere every time. I'd be like, I'll be fine. I'll get through this. I guess this is normal. This is what everybody does. And it didn't really end up stopping.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So when did it get hardcore to where you woke up in the morning and was like, I need a drink?
Got the worst when I was probably in my early 30s. Like really bad, like drinking vodka straight out of a bottle kind of thing. At like as soon as the liquor store opened, getting it, going into a fucking gas station bathroom and just guzzling it as fast as I could to kind of get the sweat stopping.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is it
Yeah.
about vodka that so many people get in trouble? It seems like a lot of alcoholics, the problem is vodka. Is that because it's odorless?
Well, we think it's odorless, but it smells like, it's now going through COVID, you know what sanitizer smells like. You know
Right.
what alcohol smells like. And that's what vodka smells like, right?
Hmm.
So we think it just doesn't have that whiskey smell. It doesn't have that gin smell. It doesn't have that rum smell. But it still smells like straight alcohol. But yeah, and you can get cheap, right? Super cheap vodka. And yeah, it doesn't make you go like tequila, like cheap tequila makes you want to not be there anymore kind of thing. Whereas cheap vodka just burns, I'd say.
Yeah. And plus you can make it look like water in a little bottle, I imagine.
Yeah, I think doesn't usually make it to a little bottle. It's
So so
yeah.
you eventually got into drugs because of that? Like that led you to like you wanted to get higher or how did that go down?
It just what it did, it led to an environmental shift for me of who I was hanging out with. With booze, and you get to that point of drinking, you're not really with the same group of people that are normal and want to be around you, you start to search out people who share your hobby in a sense of getting shit faced all the time. And you tell each other it's all good. You tell each other it's fun. You tell each other we're networking today on a Tuesday at noon at this bar we're sitting at. Right? We're out meeting people, but we're not, and that small group starts to grow and you start to become very insulated with each other. And then, within that group, people are doing coke and then you try that and you realize you can keep drinking more. And you're like, this is sweet, and next thing you know, it's 3 days later and you're still going.
And hadn't slept probably.
No, that's it. Yeah, it's 3 days. You're up, you're in a kitchen in a condo you've never been in before, coming up with business plans, and it's real.
So
It's real. But it's the thing is that it's got this weird, it's not like heroin or crack where you associate it with being on the street. And that's where you associate it with like the Wolf of Wall Street. It's like, yeah, it's a party drug. People with money are doing this. This is cool. And you can, I don't know, man, you start justifying it to yourself. Like, it's all good. Everybody does it. Even now, like, it's even worse now on social media. Everything I see is like, and everybody's laughing about it. It's like, oh, as soon as the beer hits my lips, a little magic fairy drops a bag of cocaine. It's like, it's glamorized a little bit.
I've got a wild story about the Wolf of Wall Street that I haven't talked about publicly, but I plan to in the coming months. I've even got a podcast scheduled for it, so I'll
Okay,
talk about
nice.
that. What was rock bottom for you?
Uh, rock bottom was so I've always loved photography, and I started a photography company. When I was coaching baseball after I stopped playing, and then my oldest daughter was born, and was like, I can't keep traveling. I'm gone 200 days a year, et cetera, with coaching and scouting and recruiting, doing everything I did. So I was like, okay, well, I love photography. I'm gonna go shoot a wedding. I got these friends who were like, hey, come shoot our wedding. Like, okay, I'll try. And they gave me a few $100, and I ended up knocking it out of the park. Right? I did a great job. It's like, well, this was easy. And then I started researching it. I'm like, this is a big business. You can do well here. So anyway, I wasn't too bad at that time. There was real phases of my life where I was kind of locked in, drinking by myself at night, but could still function and still run a business and do things. It was on the weekends. But I got to a point, I'd say 7, 8, about 10 years later of shooting weddings, hundreds of weddings. Rock bottom would have been when I was really partying into the cocaine and I was booking weddings, and I ended up like double, triple booking the same dates for weddings because I just fucking couldn't remember shit. I was so disorganized. I was just saying yes. They're like, hey, we want to book you. You're an award winner, best photographer ever. And I was showing up to meetings that I don't even remember, consultations with couples, taking their deposits, double, triple booking days, forgetting about weddings that I was supposed to be at. When these people are paying $6,000-$7,000 for me to be there for a day.
And you're probably blowing the deposit money on cocaine, huh?
Blowing it on everything, yeah. I mean, that's all I wanted was that deposit money at the time. It's like, let's go, let's get this cash going, and we can go on a trip, or we can do this, or we can pretend like we're doing well in life. And then this is the time of Facebook. There's wedding groups and everybody's chatting, and sure as shit, my name keeps coming up, keeps coming up, keeps coming up. There's this guy that can't be trusted. So I got 15, 20, 30 weddings booked for the next 2 years, and sure as shit, they all start canceling. We want our deposit back. Want our deposit back. Want our deposit back. We cancel. Fucking see my name popping up in this website, in this website, in this website, and my life just fucking crumbled from there.
Did you have the money to pay them back?
No, fuck no.
Yeah, what'd you
No,
do?
it took a long time, man. I had to go bankrupt, man. I went bankrupt, and scraped and scraped to pay people back when I could. But in those times, as somebody who was into booze, you don't sit down and go, okay, how am I going to sort this out? You go, okay, well, fuck, this sucks. Let me get shit faced to forget about it. Right, and that's when I couldn't put the shovel down in a sense of digging my hole. Kept digging deeper, avoiding emails, avoiding calls. My current wife, who we were living together at the time, we weren't married, she's having people call her, Facebook message her, hey, your boyfriend, hey, your, this, that, showing up at her work, looking for her to find me. So so we're talking $1,000 in deposits people are coming after me for. And, it doesn't seem like a ton of money. I mean, it is, but at that time when I had nothing else lined up. That was it. It's like, well, my fucking career's over, so it's not like I can go book more weddings. In fact, I was so delusional that I was like, well, I'll create a new wedding photography company and change the name of it and start booking more weddings to pay these weddings back. And that's where you just keep fucking digging and digging and digging. Instead of going, just stop. And then that's when I went to rehab.
Tell me about rehab. And how old were you?
Rehab was 2016, so I would have been 35, I guess, 36. Rehab was, it was awesome. I needed it. I couldn't wait to go.
Really?
Yeah, I remember it was about a month before I actually went. I was laying on the couch with my wife. We were married at the time. Yeah, we were married. Just laying there, just fucking depressed, just going, I wish I could just go away and pause life for 2 months and just be somewhere else where I don't have my phone, I can't access a computer, and just try to sort the shit out myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, everything. And then a month later, I was like, hey, let's go for breakfast with your parents. That breakfast was the news of you're going to rehab. So
Her
within
parents told you that?
my parents.
Mm.
So within 48 hours of sitting down for breakfast, I was in rehab.
What's that like? For those who haven't been to rehab, you walk in and what happens?
I don't know if they're all the same, but the unknown, for me, it was a little bit of excitement of, hey, here's an opportunity for me to turn my life around. I wasn't a rehab guy like a lot of them were, where they never had anything good happening in their life. Like, there's a lot of people there with a lot of trauma who really didn't know what good felt like, what success felt like. I had, college ball, pro ball, national. I had a lot of good things happen in my life. Like a lot of really cool things I could be really proud of. And there's a lot of people in there who didn't have that. So for me, I think a little different because I was like, okay, I can go away here. I can start working on myself to be the man I know I can be in. Not that I should be, but that I really deep down want to be inside. But I lost that map somewhere along the way. So when I stepped in those doors, I was the dude who was like, all right, my full willingness. I'm turning everything over. You tell me to jump, how high, kind of thing. You tell me to pray, how long, who am I praying to? You tell me. I'm going to do everything you tell me. My ego's gone, and I'm all in. So at first I got in there, a little bit of ego, like, fuck, who are these fucking losers in here, kind of thing. And then, reality kind of set in with it of like, okay, this is real. We got to get up. We got to go sit in a circle. We got to talk about our feelings. We got to do this. We got to learn how to eat properly again, sit and have, rehab it's like learning how to live again. And in a sense of like, no, you need to get up this time every day. You need to eat these kinds of food every day. You need to read these kinds of things to work on yourself every day. You need to learn how to talk to yourself better. And it was a small sample size of the work that needs to be done. I was there for 2 months, but it definitely put me on the right track. It was like, I really needed it. Again, not for everybody. A lot of people walk out the doors 2-3 days after they get there, or even a month after they get there, and just don't want to do it anymore. They can't hack it. They hate it because it's fucking work. It is actually hard work. You're not going there like we see, these really luxurious rehab centers with pools and on the ocean, etc. That's definitely not what mine was. It wasn't uber clinical, but it was a lot of work. And I don't know. I guess I knew how to do the work. I knew how to work hard. I knew that there was something good to come out of this, so I really wanted it.
Did they tell you on day one you were going to be there for 2 months?
I knew going in.
Mm.
I knew going in it was a 60-day program.
Wow, that's a long time. Did you felt like you needed all of 60 days, or did you want more time after you were there 60 days?
No, I was ready to go, but I was committed. I knew 60 days was it. I didn't really have oh man, that's a long time, or it's not enough, not long enough going in, because I just didn't know. But yeah, I was ready to go when I got my little coin and they do a little ceremony and they're like, "Hey, well, I'll see you later." But I think I think they could do a better job. I think the rehab system, there's a lot of benefits to it, but it's also a business. All right. When those 60 days are up, your bed becomes available. And that's 30 to 60 grand that they need in that bed for the next 2 months to keep their shit running and pay their doctors and do everything. So they're like, hey, well, See you later. There wasn't a lot of, okay, you've done this 2 months in this bubble wrapped environment. Now here's how you go and live real life now. Right. Because I remember coming home, my rehab was about 2 hours from my house. And my dad picked me up and brought me back to my house. My wife's at work when I got home. And I was like, okay, I'm home. Like, it was weird. I'm like, okay, but I'm going to have a nice day. I'm going to read and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And my wife gets home and she's like, hey, blah, 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 how you doing? She she comes and visits every weekend. They visitate, so it's not like I hadn't seen her. She was like, hey, we got to go do this. We got to go do this. We got to do this. I'm like, whoa, man. Like, hold on a sec here. I need my time. I got to go do this. I got to slowly do this like I did in rehab. And it's like, no, you're not ready for real life when you get out.
Mm.
You're not ready for it. They do have obviously outpatient programs to kind of, they say get you ready, but the one I did definitely didn't help. It was just me going once a week and sitting in a circle and talking about how I felt, which was fine, and it was part of that process. But eventually, they're like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, hey, everybody knows how I feel. I know how I feel. How do I deal with some other things here? How do I deal with life? How do I organize better? How do I schedule better? How do I do all these things? And that's what I didn't know. And that's where I struggled for a long time. I was sober, but I wasn't in recovery as a lot of people say, right? And there's a big difference. You're just kind of white knuckling it, like not drinking, trying to live life and not really knowing how, which sounds weird, but it's new. It's really new, not having a couple drinks and going, whew, okay, now we can go do some shit.
So you can clearly see why rehab fails for so many people.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's because it's a cookie cutter process, and it's people aren't cookie cutter. It's not life's not cookie cutter. Right? Everybody needs a little bit different. Everybody's built a little bit different. Everybody learns different. Everybody has different goals. So, I mean, that's why I became a recovery coach. With what I do is I understand how hard it is. I also understand not everybody needs to go to rehab for 2 months. You can really learn how to do these things in the real world. You just need someone who's going to hold you accountable daily.
What was the detox like? Did you have withdrawal?
No, I was okay. There was one time where I kind of had withdrawals. It was about a year before I went to rehab. I tried to stop drinking, and they ended up putting me on benzos, and I was sweating and having weird dreams and shaking a lot, and it was a couple days of that. But it's not cool.
So did your rehab get you off of the other drugs too? I know a lot of people go to psychedelic clinics and it gets them off of drugs. Did you have other drugs that you were indulging?
No, no. I mean, booze was the one for me that I wasn't just going and doing cocaine if I wasn't drinking, right? So,
Man.
and that was it. That was it. That was just cocaine. It wasn't like I was dabbling with crack and heroin and shit too, right? I was never a big weed guy anyway. There's high school and the that big night in West Hollywood where I was just more doing it to try to be cool. But no, there was never anything else really.
And how long
I've
did you stay sober?
when I got out, it's been 4 years, and then I had a small relapse, which was just one day. Which in my opinion, I know it happens. I know that shit happens now, especially being a coach and working with people. I'm not saying it's cool, go ahead and relapse once in a while, but the relapse isn't the booze, in my opinion, either. Though the relapse is decision making and preparation and how you live your life, because the relapse doesn't happen when the booze hits your lips. The relapse happens 2 weeks before that, when you stop getting up at the time you said you were going to get up. You sleep a little
Mm.
longer. You eat that, you go to the drive through. And when so you start doing things against what you said you're going to do to stay really good. And then those compound into you going, fuck it, because you've said fuck it to small things for quite a while now. And now you've given yourself permission to say fuck it to everything, in a sense. So a lot of things have to happen decision wise for you to actually go to a liquor store, buy the booze and drink it. It's not like you just wake up real good one day and go, fuck, I'm going to run over to this liquor store and get shit faced real quick. So
Do you believe, in your view, is addiction a disease?
yeah, I do. I really do. Yeah, it's there's something for me. I don't know I can't pinpoint what it is right now. I know it has a lot to do. I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with the fact that I've had close to 12 concussions, right? So, the prefrontal cortex isn't working as well as it should. Your decision making's off. Your risk assessment goes down. You don't really care as much. So you really have to work hard at making decisions. Like for me,
Yeah.
I have to really, really be aware of decisions I'm making. And I have people, my wife, accountability people in my life with shit. Like I still have coaches, right? I still work with people. I still see a psychologist. I see a fucking Chinese medicine dude. I have coaches, and I know I need those people in my life, not always to like bounce things off of, but just to know I'm going there. If I need them, I can talk to them, and if I have things coming up or if I have things that are troubling me in my life, I can talk to them about it instead of trying to just internalize it and thinking I know what's going on. Because if I start making decisions like that for myself, it's kind of like when people say trust your gut. I'm like, fuck that. My gut is an idiot. I do not trust my gut. I can't. Based on history, I cannot trust my gut. I'll listen to it and then I'll tell people about what my gut tells me to do, and they'll go, "Dude, your gut is so wrong." Like that. So that's where I believe it's a disease in a sense of something going on in your brain. A couple chemicals are off based on either trauma or based on some kind of trauma, whether it be physical, mental, emotional trauma. And you're just not making the same decision. You're not making the wise decisions, the right decisions you would if those things didn't happen to you in your life.
Yeah. When Chase and I were in our 20s, we'd recommend a lot of books to each other. And at the
Uh-huh.
time, he had someone close to him who was going through a drug problem. And he recommended a book by William Cope Myers called Broken. Are you
Yeah.
familiar with that book?
I'm not. No.
Oh, it's excellent. It's excellent writing. And especially, I know you have you have three kids, right?
Yeah.
Twins, how old are they?
They'll be 4 in October.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, the book, one of the things that stood out to me was the writing it's Bill Moyers' son. And so
Okay.
the writing, the letters that he wrote to his son get you all verklempt, but it's a really good
Oh.
book. I should probably revisit it.
Yeah,
What is
there's
it?
some neat, I love books like that, like that are very personal letters. Have you heard of Rules for a Night?
No.
Okay, that's one you got to get. It's a little book. I have one somewhere. I should have grabbed it, but it's a little pocket book. I found it in rehab, and I give them to all my clients now. I buy them off Amazon. It's a book by Ethan Hawke, the actor.
Hmm.
So he found a box, I guess, in a basement. He found a box in a basement or a storage locker with these really, really old transcripts and letters, and he couldn't understand them. They're in a different language. And he obviously has resources to get these things transcribed and understand. Turns out it goes back to his family and lineage being knights.
Mm.
And he found these stacks of paper, and it was, whoever it was, his great 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 grandfather writing when he was out in war a letter back to his kids about rules how to live. So rules for a night. And each chapter is like 3 pages. It's just like, okay, this is about chapter 2, humility, and it's just this quick little spiel from a knight about humility. Anyways, I'd recommend that to anybody. I give them to all the kids I work with, and just something neat to read every night. It takes about 5 minutes.
Sounds like something that was maybe handed down to William and not Harry.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No kidding.
So, how do you keep your kids from drugs and alcohol? Or if they go out to a party one night and call you at 1 a.m. for a ride home, like what kind of talks do you have with them and when does that start?
Well, I have a 16-year-old that started about 12, 13 years old. I mean, she came and visited me in rehab, so she was aware of my problems. I mean, I didn't go into depth with her about it all, but she's not stupid. She saw where I was. She knew. It's one of those things for me. It was like, I know eventually you're gonna be around this stuff. What goals do we have in life? How does your decision today point towards that goal? What do you really want to do after high school? Or what do you really want to do this summer? Does that decision point towards that goal or away from that goal? And if you get yourself into a mode of being pressured, sometimes things happen like that. you can call me. I'm going to be the guy, I'm going to be the dad that comes and goes, okay, let's walk through this. You're not going to be in trouble. You might get in trouble if it happens 15 times, but again, it's still not you're in trouble. It's like you're more in trouble with yourself, and we got to sort this out, right? It's never about you're grounded kind of thing. And that was my approach on it, was like, this stuff's around you. This stuff's going to be around you. There's going to be drugs at school. There's going to be booze. There's going to be parties. If you have a couple drinks, fuck, so be it. Be responsible. Call me. What's the plan tonight? Are you going to have a couple drinks? Yes. And then it got to a point where he's like, yeah, I'll probably have a couple coolers. I'm like, all right, cool. What time are you going to be home? 1. Okay, cool. No problem. Yeah, okay, great. I trust you. When you're given that trust too, that transparency and communication about what you're doing, there's something you got to kind of honor that, as a kid and as a parent and in that relationship. And it's not glamorizing it. It's just fucking, because again, I was 17 coming down to Texas, and it was like, let's fucking get kegs and let's go to the Lambin's house and let's, blow our heads off and have the best time ever. It's not like that. But I'm just saying, like, we're not stupid here. I know what's going to happen. Is it okay? Sure, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal if you're responsible about it. But you can sure see where a couple bad decisions and temptation of doing more is going to lead you real quick based on what I went through. So I guess I kind of had the benefit of leading the wrong way for people to see for some time and not wanting to end up in that spot,
Yeah.
And but it's like I work with a lot of my recovery clients too. It's like let's pick our hard, man. Like in rehab, they're like, nothing. You can have nothing. Can I smoke? No. Like, it's like, okay, let's pick our heart here. Like, what's the real problem here? Booze? Okay, fine. Can I smoke weed? I'm like, how are you with weed? They're like, well, it just helps mellow me out. I'm like, sure, weed doesn't count then. Let's not fuck with weed right now. Let's focus on booze, because booze is the problem. Go have a couple puffs if that helps you mellow out. And I think for people who are struggling with things, you really need to pick what's going on, what's really, because I mean, it's like people that diet, Jan 1, go to the gym, gonna eat healthy, gonna do. It's like you try to change everything at once, and that's kind of what rehab does, and that's why it takes a long time. It also doesn't taper you into the real world, but so many people try to go, okay, I'm having struggles in life here. I need a full reset. I need a full flip. Let's change everything now. And you can't. You really can't. Majority of 99% of people cannot do that. You can't just start working out 4 days a week, start eating clean, stop drinking water, reading, all these things, biohacks, whatever, cold plunging. You can't just start doing all that. It won't happen. You really gotta start slow. You gotta take steps. You gotta take one little step. I mean, there's so many cliches that are so bang on. It really is. It's a compound effect of doing a couple things daily that just start adding up. But people don't like delayed gratification anymore. They want it all now because they see it on Instagram and Facebook of people changing their lives, but they don't realize that 30-second reel took 10 years to make.
I've seen you preach limiting screen time. So since you mentioned it, what are your thoughts on limiting screen time? I know you do that for some of the guys you coach, but how do you think about it for them and then also for you?
I mean, for me, my screen time, I still catch myself scrolling, watching people fall all the time. But no, what I've done, I've put my social media on my computer because it makes it feel like work now, and that's what I use social media for, is work. So I'm not caught scrolling on my phone all the time. That's the one where you get this dopamine hit when you open Instagram or TikTok, and you're like, oh, that's hilarious, and it's just constantly fucking flooding your system with awesome shit that you want to see. It's like watching Jackass in your pocket 24/7. When Jackass came out, we were like, whoa, this is amazing, but it was a 90-minute show. But for kids, the screen time, for me, I work with a lot of athletes, so the rule is if your screen time's higher than your training time, we probably shouldn't even be doing this program. It doesn't make sense to me, because unless you're running an e-commerce program or a business, an Instagram business on your phone, then you definitely shouldn't be on your phone that long. There's a lot more you could be doing: reading, talking to people, hanging out with people. It doesn't always have to be training. It could be helping your parents be out mowing the lawn. So That's what we fill that time with in my youth performance program is we look at all these things and we go, the majority of the time we got 12, 13-year-olds whose screen time is like 7, 8 hours a day, right? It's hard because I think we're a generation where we weren't raised on phones, so we don't know how to limit them. We know how to limit them because we just didn't grow up with them. So we're like, fuck, I'm good with it. I'm good without it. I don't really care. I hope we're going to see this generation who's growing up with everything in their pocket on their iPhone, grow up, fail. I don't want to say I want to see people fail, but they're going to fail because they realize that they've been on their phone so much. There's going to be a switch. They're trying now, but again, we haven't been in the thick of it as a 15-year-old or a 13-year-old who's been on their phones. They now know because that's what they're growing up with. So it's going to be a generational fix where in 30 years, I hope we're going to see something go, okay, when I was a kid, I got so fucked up from my phone that now I know how to deal with this properly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense.
So what I'm doing is kind of coming up with shit because, again, I don't have the experience of being 12 and being on TikTok for 6 hours. You know, it's easy for me to say, fuck, dude, go to the park and play with your friends. Go play wiffle ball. You know, go play, go play football. Go play stuff. I saw a great video. It was a dad and his kid sitting there, and he was like, when I used to get grounded, I had to stay inside. My parents were like, no, you can't go outside. And the dad said to the kid, he's like, what does that sound like to you? And the kid was like, that sounds awesome.
Hmm.
And like he's like, no. We didn't want to be inside. We always wanted to be outside doing stuff. And the kid was like, well,
True.
why? None of my shit's outside, right? So that's the generational, problem we're in, where we don't really, we can say, hey, get off your phone, but we really don't know what it feels like for these kids who are living in a world where everything is there. Communications on Snapchat, conversations are about TikTok. Everything you do popularity wise is going to be based on social media. How many followers do you have? And it's a real thing for them. We have to understand that it is a real thing. So we can't just say no phone. And that's not what I do. Like, hey, limit it. Be responsible. Audit your feed. Audit what you're looking at. Just like you audit your friends, your environment. Your social media feed is your environment. It is filling your brain with what you do daily. So it's a really big part. I don't know based on experience. A lot of things I teach and a lot of things I do it because of the experience I had, whether it be good or bad. But this one, I don't know what I'm talking about all the time, but I do know that it's fucking killing them, right? How old's your
Yeah,
daughter?
you make 4.
Yeah, so you're a ways from that, right? But it's brutal. It's crazy. You know, like I said, I got a 16-year-old. Do you want to hear something crazy about my 16-year-old? Talk about social media. And I bet if social media didn't exist, this wouldn't have happened on Saturday. Her boyfriend is a scratch golfer, a really good golfer. He's a ball player, going off to college next year. They're at the golf course. He just played in a tournament. My daughter went and met him for dinner. They were playing around, screwing around the chip and putt and all that, which is great. I love that they hang out the golf course and do this. And anyway, him being a 17-year-old meathead, again, great kid, but bad decision, was like, hey, let's do a TikTok video of me doing flop shots over your head. Okay, so flop shots. They're like, okay, cool, let's film it. So my daughter's sitting there filming it. You can see him here. Actually, there's video of it, so it's not good. Anyway, first two, good. Catches the third one thin, skulls it right in her mouth. Three teeth, and a hole in her lip, laying on the ground in a pool of blood on the putting green. Yeah, what is it? Or no, sorry, it's Tuesday today. So that happened on Sunday afternoon. So she's hopefully can save this tooth here. Her bottom teeth got caved in. Emergency surgeries. If TikTok wasn't around, they wouldn't be doing that video. Right? It's like, it's not the screen time always. It's what it's causing you to do as well.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many places I've been where I see little crosses, like beautiful views or whatever, and it's dedicated there for people who have, and to serve as a warning for people who have tried to take selfies and fallen.
Wow,
and you're right,
really?
they'd be alive if it weren't for social media.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, like I was talking about you have a 4-year-old, and it's What a beautiful age that is.
It is. I'm trying to appreciate it every day. I had lunch with her today. Yeah.
Yeah, you're cool. You're king.
Yeah.
They're just their eyes are open to everything, man. They're just seeing things for the first time every day.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What about your tattoos, man? Do you think you'd have as many tattoos if you didn't have the problem with alcohol and drugs?
Yeah, I think so. I had a lot of things
Yeah.
I got in the last 6, 7 years, man. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
like them.
Yeah.
There's some real random ones, a couple I don't remember getting,
Well, that's what I
which
was
is
getting at.
cool.
You, a lot of times you see guys who've been to rehab that are all tatted up.
Yeah, no, I know. No, I'd say 75% of these are post, after, and I just like it. I got a whole leg piece coming along right now. Yeah, I don't know, man. I like it. I like that. I like what you can do with it. I love art, and I don't know. I love doing stupid shit. Like I put that on my knuckles, right?
D-Bab?
Don't be a bitch.
That's a reminder. Just throw your fist up at
Well,
your face.
I flash it to my clients all the time too. Like, well, life's really hard right now, and I got 3 things going on. That I'm like, shut the fuck up. Don't be a bitch.
I love
Sometimes
that.
that's sometimes that's the answer. You can read so many books, you can get so clinical, and then it just sometimes just throw all that stuff away and be like, dude, stop being such a bitch. Just shut
Have
up.
you ever run a marathon or anything?
I didn't. I just did an Ironman.
That's hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was gonna wear my medal, but my wife told me I can't keep wearing my medal anymore.
Why?
Just joking. I always bug her. I'm like, we're going out for dinner or something. Like, can I wear my Ironman medal? Is that cool? Why?
That's
Because
funny.
because it's hard and it's really cool to do one. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm fired up. I'm gonna keep doing them.
That's great. My wife bought me this lanyard because I keep losing my keys. So I
Oh,
got the
there you
office
go.
key on a lanyard,
There
kind
you
of
go.
like
That
wearing a
reminds me
medal.
of college. We all had those. With
Yeah,
our little
that's
ID
cool.
card and our key on it. But yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, half marathons. I do one every 2 weeks
Oh,
right
wow.
now in my training.
That keeps you
So
grounded and disciplined, I imagine.
it does. It does. It's all part of it. I can call it recovery, or I could just call it working my ass off to live my best life. I'm 4 years old, and I'm in better shape than a lot of people, a lot of young people. And it just, yeah, it just helps me. I'm not like David Goggins, where it's like, do that hard of shit all the time. Don't get me wrong. I love sitting back with a bag of chips watching South Park, but I like to challenge myself. I still have that mentality. I'm sure you do too, where, we were these collegiate athletes and we still think we can do it and we still think we should do it sometimes. I did hurt myself training because I started training too hard for this Ironman, about a year
Hmm.
ago, and it really put me back. What the Ironman did was really expose me as to who I was mentally, who I was physically, who I was emotionally, who I was spiritually, all these things. And that's my big thing right now, is kind of challenging my 5 pillars in life I work with people on. So it's like, if I'm working with these people on these things, not only do I need to know about them, not even do I have to live them, I have to keep challenging them. I have to keep
Hmm.
making sure that I'm not just mailing it in emotionally, just seeing the same, psychologist, or spiritually, just doing the same things every day. Am I really, really getting the most out of myself right now? And that's kind of
That's
what
cool.
the Ironman represents for me.
I like it. I
Yeah.
do this with everybody. It's called Fun Questions. You want to do them?
Let's do it.
All right. If I gave you $1 million tomorrow, what would you do with the money?
Fuck, I'd pay my parents back first for getting me into rehab and helping me out through my
Mm.
hard times. Thought of
Will
that
you
one.
feel like will you feel like you owe them the rest of your life if you don't pay them
Nope,
back financially?
nope, nope,
That's
not
good.
at all, not at all, not one bit, not one bit. I mean, I'd love to
Good.
say buy a boat, but there's I honestly think of that one all the time. If I came into a whack-a-dough, fuck it, and I'd set them up. It's
Yeah.
like big leaguers paying off their parents' mortgages, right, and stuff like that. You see those stories because they sacrifice so much for me to go to college and do all these things. Anyway, I assume this is kind of a quick thing we're supposed to be doing here.
It's not. But you
Okay,
do
okay.
understand what you're talking about when you become a parent yourself. You're like, holy shit, my parents sacrificed like crazy.
It's what you do and you don't expect anything back. Sometimes you feel that as a kid, man, I feel like I need to work harder because of this. And that's not the case at all. They're just doing it because that's what you do. It's what you do as parents, man. You take care of your kids.
So with all that money, you'd pay them back for rehab. I take it rehab was expensive.
In rehab, I'd set aside a certain amount. I'd make, not that my parents aren't well off or anything. It's one of those things where it would feel so good for me. They would appreciate it. It's not even the money thing, I don't think, with it. It's what it represents.
If you could trade places with any man tomorrow just to see what their life is like, who would it be?
Shoot, man. Probably be someone like Paul Skeens right now.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't really think about stuff like that. But watching baseball and seeing this dude absolutely dominate and red carpets, and he's so what I love about him is he's just so chill. He's so cool. He doesn't really care about all the stuff. But he just goes out there and he just absolutely pumps.
And isn't it so perfect how he's dating the gymnast star from LSU? I think that's great.
Do you see that new dude from the Brewers? I can't remember his name. He's just absolutely dominant.
No, I haven't been paying attention that much because I'm so far.
There's a big joke saying that gymnast is now trying to hook up with that pitcher.
Oh no. Not good. Who do you think are the top 3 MLB players right now aside from Ohtani?
Well, Judge. God, dude. Like value on your team. Skeens. Man, there's a lot. I'd like to say someone like Kyle Schwarber, dude. Someone sneaky like that who is always up there in slugging, always up there in home runs. And I think a guy like him too, and I don't say this based on stats or what MLB Network says, he's a guy who's going to make your clubhouse better.
Yeah.
Like I bet you if you polled players, they would pick somebody like him opposed to a Bryce Harper or somebody who puts up the numbers all the time. And I think that's why the Phillies are turning into what they're turning into, and kind of like this is their year to win, is because of the Schwarbers of the world who bring that team together, right?
Did they still have him hitting leadoff?
I can't remember. I like that though. I really like that.
Yeah,
I think they're mixing it up. I think everybody's really mixing it up these days, man.
Yeah. Who was your favorite player in the 90s?
Chipper Jones.
Oh, get out. It's funny you say that because I was going to tell you, you probably heard this story before, but Chase met Aaron Judge. He tell you about that?
No.
Oh, yeah. So he had coached Paul O'Neill's nephew. And so Paul O'Neill's nephew, I guess, had been traded and was playing on the Yankees. And since he knew him, he said to ask Judge if he would come over and say hi to his son Champ. And when Judge came over, he said he was very respectful to Chase and was like seeking him out. And then he gave Champ his signed batting gloves. So that was
okay. I did see that. I did see the batting gloves.
Yeah.
There's some good dudes, man. There's some dudes.
So I bring that up because I met Chipper Jones and got to hang out with him one night. He was the speaker at our alumni banquet, and we flew him in and hung out with him at the bar beforehand, and then sat with him at the dinner. And he's an awesome dude.
Just a dude.
Yeah. He's the same,
because
right? He's probably always.
These guys seem fictional, to a certain degree. And then when you actually meet him, you're like, huh, you're just a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked Chase this question: if you could turn any activity into an international thing, something you'd be competitive in, like an Olympic level event, what would that be?
Was his hunting?
He had trouble coming up with one, and then I suggested storytelling, and he said, "Yeah, I could win that."
Oh yeah, storytelling for him. Okay, sorry. Ask the question again. Let me hear the question again.
Okay, if you could turn any activity into an international thing that you think you'd be competitive in, like an Olympic level event, what would that be?
Activity. Olympic level event. Cleaning.
Really? You're good at cleaning?
I'm OCD as fuck, yeah.
Really? Well, then you would have been a good roommate.
Ask Chase.
That's probably why we're here today, because you're a good cleaner.
We had a carpet about this big. I was talking about a vacuum, vacuuming that shit up, man. My wife gets mad at me. She's like, fuck, dude, there's a running joke in our house. Like, do not leave your cup on the counter unless, you want it to go in the dishwasher. Because I will fucking grab that thing and put it in the dishwasher. If you put your clothes on the floor, they are dirty.
Is your bed made every morning?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
I make everybody's. I go up first thing. When everybody comes downstairs, I'm up there, I'm making all the beds. Everything's done.
Great.
I can't really start my day until everything's airtight, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the most valuable piece of advice you've ever received?
It sounds funny, man, but I really come back to it now, and it's Tadlock. Take care of your business. It means so much. It's so simple. I didn't hear it at the time. We just laughed about it. All right, take care of your business. It's just something I always say now. I always think about with decisions. I'm like, is this taking care of my business? And what is my business? My business is, yes, my business. My business is also my family, my health, my finances, everything. Am I taking care of my business?
It's amazing how many things coaches tell us that we remember that resonate with us, and at the time we mock them. I went through the same thing, but I can't tell you how
Hmm.
many calls I've been on with young guys who are former athletes, and they'll say, "Well, my college coach used to say this," and
Yeah, yeah.
it stays with you forever, and then you pass it down, and they look at you like you're stupid and mock you, but then they realize when they're 30 that, that guy was making a lot of sense.
We don't hear the message. We just hear the words when we're players, right? And they repeat these
Mm,
same words over and over and over and over. And we're like, "Yeah, take care of business, take care of business." And
yeah.
Tadlock was a beauty for it. He said some of the funniest shit you'll ever hear in your life. But you think back to it, we go back and if I could go back and view him talking to us in the team circle, you're like, whoa, we didn't hear that. We didn't hear that.
Mm. What's the coolest thing anybody's ever done for you?
These are good. Coolest thing anybody's ever done for me. I mean, my parents put me in rehab. That was pretty cool. I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. And I apologize if you're listening and you did something fucking sweet for me and I forget, but I got a lot of concussions and I don't. I have the luxury of watching movies and then putting it on a year later like I've never seen it. I don't know if that's a
Mm.
luxury, but it's pretty cool because I can watch movies over and over. But something pretty cool was I helped Chase with this book he's writing. Not in a million. I just love Chase and love helping him and love baseball, so it all just fit. And dude, fucking sent me this Stetson,
Mm. Beautiful.
and I just think that was so neat. It's something he didn't have to do, but just when people think of you, and he actually sent me the money for it because it would have cost more than the hat to ship to Canada. And I could have easily just been like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then, but I actually took a ferry off the island to go get that
Wow.
because of what it represented to me.
That's great. I know how
Yeah.
much he appreciated you doing that for him. He talks about it all the time. And I got my first Stetson for my birthday, June 19th. So
Oh, no
we're
way.
yeah, my wife
That's
got it
cool.
for
I
me.
kept the box like women keep their Louis Vuitton boxes, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
That's
so.
great. Is there a book that's most impacted your life?
I mean, Atomic Habits, I went through a lot early on. That kind of really set the tone. There was the Moneyball was a good one. I love Moneyball. Why I like the book was how forward thinking Billy Bean was, how outside the box he was, how much research and effort and how obsessed he was about trying something a little bit different to win with what he had. You watch the movie's great, but the book I read over and over and over.
Mm.
There's something about it that really hit home, and it was cool because I got to become a GM of a collegiate summer ball team in the West Coast League, and I get to apply a lot of that.
That's really cool. Atomic Habits, written by James Clear, he was a college baseball player too.
He was, yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of why certain things like that hit, right? Because you're like, okay, interesting. Yeah, actually, really good book. I can't hold on. I listened to it. I'm gonna just tell you what it is here. Hold on, let me go to my Audible
While you're
account.
doing that, I'll tell a quick story about Moneyball. So when I was in school, it came out, I believe, in '03, and I was still
Yeah,
playing ball at that time. And my girlfriend at the time went to UT in Austin, and her roommate was dating a baseball player. So she would go to the games and she would tell me about who she hung out with or whatever. And one of them was Dustin Majewski, who was an outfielder. You probably remember
yeah,
him.
yeah.
And in Moneyball, they talked about how good he looked in a uniform. So I was like, damn.
Ah.
Sucks for me. Yeah. So I used to throw around this dude's name, and yeah, he was in the book that I was reading. And when they said that, I read that, and I was like, it was like the worst feel. Like, oh, dude, she's going to see him in a uniform, probably.
Yeah, no kidding. She just burned into his head.
So
Had she
what's the
seen
other
you
book?
in had she seen you in uniform though?
Yeah, but I'm not even 6 foot. I mean, if they're going to talk about him as a draft prospect, and one of his biggest attributes is how good he looks in a uniform, I don't stand a chance up against that.
The book's called I Hear You,
Who wrote
and
it?
it's by Michael Sorensen, who's not who's not really anyone. It really focuses on validating what people say.
What do you
and
mean?
learning how to listen and learning how to respond to people. I just found it very, not just interesting, educational and challenging for me. From people talk to me not having my fucking gun loaded, ready with a response.
Mm.
Listening and hearing them and validating what they're saying, because I think that, and again, based on this, I'm really trying to apply this in my life. And when somebody talks to me, listening, not giving an opinion, not giving your advice, hearing them and understanding with them. It's like, yeah, okay, wow, yeah, you're right, or I understand what you're saying. That must really suck. And not just being ready to come back to, hey, back to me. Yeah, I have an experience with that. Fuck, man. Once in college, I did this and that. It's like you just kind of heard what they said and went on about your own conversation about it. It's not helping them, right? So it's a really, it's a bit of a redundant book. It keeps talking about the same thing over and over. You could probably listen to half of it and get the whole thing. I recommend either reading it or listening to it and then trying to apply it. And you're going to be like, huh, interesting. I'm really catching myself. As good as I think I am as a listener, there can be more here.
Mm.
And I find in my job especially, I do a good job listening, but sometimes I am catching myself trying to relate, trying to come back with something I can relate with. As that is my job, to relate with them, to give advice based on my experience. Sometimes it doesn't call for that. Sometimes I just need to let them talk, let them say the same thing a couple times, because I actually already know the answer before I open my mouth and give a different answer.
I hear you.
I knew you were really listening there.
If you could go anywhere in the world and live for the month of August, where would it be?
um, for the month of August, why the month of August? It's a fucking weird question.
Because it's a month and it's coming up. We're already in July.
Gotcha. I would go, you know what, man? I'd go somewhere, Cabo.
I'm probably just looking for ideas for myself, so thank you. Yeah, Cabo sounds great.
Cabo, I love Cabo. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Mexico, but I love Cabo because you can still hit up a Starbucks real quick.
Yeah, that's true. You can do that pretty much anywhere in the world. They have them here too.
Well, I think I just started going to Cabo so long ago that, it was very Americanized early, had the luxuries, and, beaches are great, surf, you do a lot of fun stuff there, and it's quick.
Mm.
But, I mean, I
If
love
you had a
Australia.
chance,
Have you been to Australia?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I really like Australia.
Me too. I met a couple of guys recently from Byron Bay, two of the coolest dudes I've ever met. And I was like, man, it's
Uh-huh.
got to be expensive to live in Byron Bay. And he starts showing me his $5 million property. Yeah, it's beautiful. That's one of my favorite places in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's pretty nice where I live, minus, the stuff we were talking about earlier with some of the drug stuff here in the inner city, but I live in a pretty nice part of the world. So I don't really think about that,
Yeah, cool. All right, last question. If Donald Trump asked for your best advice, what would you tell
Best advice to Donald Trump: keep going, dude.
him? Keep at it, brother.
Keep at it.
Keep on keeping on.
You know what? Yeah, he said, I mean, a lot of people disagree with me up here, especially, but I like the idea of his leadership and that he's all in and he's doing what he needs to do for you guys, for America. He has an agenda based on core values. He's not wavering. He's sticking to them. Even if a lot of people think they're wrong, he's going, well, go fuck yourself. I don't care. I was voted in because I think this, and I'm not going to waver. I'm going to do exactly what I said because this is what I believe. And I think that's
Cool.
really, really cool.
Well, it's cool to hear a Canadian say that.
Again, I've lived in Texas. I don't just hear it on CNN and Fox, all the headlines. I'm not just a headline reader. I kind of understand, especially with what had just happened in our election, with everybody wavering. Pierre Poilievre was supposed to get in, and then Mark Carney comes in, and Trump affects it, and blah 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 blah, and everybody's going this way and that way, and it's like, what do you actually believe in here that you can flip flop that fast? It's like some prettier girl comes along, you're gonna cheat on your wife, in my opinion. Like that's what it is to me.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, we found two of the best looking women in the world, so we don't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, before we wrap, I just want to say how cool it is that you helped Chase with the hitter's handbook. I think it came out great. And like I said, I know how much he appreciates it. I also think it's awesome that you're helping young boys become men. I think that we need more of that today. Guys like you who are willing to mentor and coach young people in a way that's not, it wasn't available for us, and it's
No.
not readily available to kids. It's something you have to search for. And when
Yeah.
you do make that connection, magic happens. I'm sure you've experienced it. I almost feel bad talking about some of the results that my clients have had because it's
I know.
fantastic, So I'm sure you're seeing that too. If somebody wanted to talk about their mindset or what you could do for them, how would they contact you?
Through my website, just my name, curtispeltier.ca. Coach at curtispeltier.ca is my email address. Instagram, Coach Curtis Pelletier. It's all pretty straightforward, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's sometimes it's not even like work for me. I really get to just sit and help these dudes and really see somewhat their potential, but also see that they really want it, and they just don't know how. It's not that they don't have the tools, they don't have the environment to do it. They don't stand a chance if they were to just continue on. And it's not to say they're going to live a bad life. Just majority of people don't reach their goals because they don't know how. They just don't know how. It's hard. It's hard to get to your goals if you're not in the right environment and not around the right people. So it's it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun helping people.
Yeah, I can relate. And you would have loved the retreat that I hosted in April. And if I don't think about it between now and the next one, I'm inviting you now and any of the guys that you coach. I'm sure they're studs. I mean, it was nothing but stud guys, just iron sharpens iron, as the saying goes. And
Totally.
I feel like we accomplished that. You would have loved it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. All in on that.
Cool.
Cool, man.
Anything else?
I don't think so, dude. Happy Canada
Right.
Day, brother, in Estonia.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed this, man. I hope we do it again sometime. And yeah, if I can do anything for you, let me know, man. Appreciate you being here.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Bob. I appreciate you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for tuning in. If I can do anything for you, I'm on the socials at man_overseas or manoverseas.com. That's it, folks. Thank you. We'll chat back at you next time.